Hi guys, we're down at Richworth Linear Fisheries, probably one of the most well-known fisheries in the country. We're fishing St John's Lake. We've got Lee on Bartropp, Lee Collings, Nick Burrage and Lee Birch and myself. Hopefully we'll have some nice fish to show you. St John's, cracking water, loads of big fish in it, recently been stocked, so there's some smaller ones, very prolific. Hopefully we'll have a few lumps. Let's go and see what's happening.
Here we go, first fish of the session down at St John's Lake, doing a fat fish video. Lovely fish, mid-double. When they look like this, size just doesn't matter. Put a bit of water on her and I'll get her up to show you. Beautiful markings, look. It's exactly the same the other side as well. Imagine that, 5 years time, 25–30 pound. Beautiful. There we go, had that lovely mirror earlier on, nice scaly beast. Put the same rod out again, a couple of hours later, bang, it's off again. Lovely scrape at 20 common. Typical of St John's Commons. Real nice clean fish, hard fighting. Stick a bit of water on her. Let's get her up to show you. And what I'm going to do is, I'll show you a little trick which helped me catch this fish and show you what I do every time I cast out. As I said, when I had that lovely common, something that I always do is help me catch that fish and catch the scaly mirror earlier on today is much like everybody else, like you at home, you get your marker rod out there, cast out, you find your spot, your bit of gravel or your bit of silt, you'll cast out your rod, you'll get it next to your marker float, get it all lovely, beautiful, but what I do is, before I cast that out and bait up, I'll chuck out my rod, but I'll tie an old rig, you know, like a blunt hook, an old rig. I'll tie it to the rig after it's clipped up, bang it back out there, hold it down, feel the drop, just pull it back about 3 or 4 foot. Just what that does is that checks the bottom. It might still have a load of rubbish on there, or silt, really smelly, or dead weed, or it might be absolutely perfect, and that's what I'm looking for. So you might get that spot all perfect, bang it out there, and you'll, in the morning you'll bring it in, and it'll be all gunge all over it. So that's a wasted 12 hours or wasted night of your fishing. With this method, old rig on the spot, pull it back, make sure it's clean, you're good to go every time you're fishing and you're trying to catch fish the best way you can. £23.5 pound mirror, lovely St John's fish. Let's hold her up for you. Lovely, typical St John's mirror. £23.8. Happy days. One more night to go. See if we can catch another one.
Right, I'm here with Lee Birch. For those of you that don't know, Lee is well known for being an exceptional surface angler. So if you've got one tip for us off the surface, what would it be?
Well, this year I'd have to say using the riser pellet from Nash. Massive edge. Just learning to fish it right.
They're only very small, aren't they?
Yeah, the fish do get preoccupied in them, but the way I fish them is, what I'll do is I'll feed the only riser pellet till I get the fish preoccupied,
yeah.
And then I'll start introducing 11mm baits such as them, which are in the floater pack, and the difference from them packman and feeding on a riser pellet to them actually swirling at
so
a bait.
You just start with the risers
Yeah,
first until they're going really confidently, then add them, and then at some point
I'll slowly introduce only the 11mm, and the greed finally takes over the preoccupation, and they'll start taking the bigger ones only, really.
See, it's interesting, you speak to some people and they say you've got to get them going, it might take an hour, it might take a couple of hours, then put your hook bait in. Other anglers prefer to go bang straight in with a hook bait and feed over the top, but you feel you've got to get them preoccupied and got to get them going.
It happens really quickly with the riser pellet, because they don't see no danger with them only being 2–3mm. They don't see any danger that they're going to get hooked off it, so they get preoccupied pretty quick. It's the sort of speeds of processing, which is quite good when you're on a short space of time.
So your top tip is, for anyone going floater fishing, you've got to take some risers
some riser pellets, definitely, yeah.
Alright, well I better nick some out of your bucket and go and give it a go. Thank you very much.
Finally had one. £25 after losing 2. Not the nicest fish, but the most welcome.
Right then, I've just nipped around the lake to see Lewis. He's fishing around the other side of the lake, and you've been catching some fish, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, I've had a few. It's difficult when obviously we're doing the filming. You're not concentrating on your own fishing to start with. First 24 hours, it was just a case of chuck the rods in at night.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gone okay. St John's has always been kind to me. I've never blanked on here.
So you've fished here for a number of years?
Yeah,
now,
I've not fished it a lot. I've fished it like the odd session, the odd social session, once a year, maybe once every 2 years. I've probably fished St John's 7-8 times over the last 15 years, something like that. But it's always been good to me. I've always had a few fish out of it. This session I've had 5 fish, lost 2. Nothing massive. I've had some nice 20s up to mid 20s. But I mean, the main thing is on St John's, you got to weigh up what everyone's doing at any given time. When we got here, people weren't putting a lot of bait in. There was not a lot going in.
To be honest, Matt, I went down that approach, and obviously it didn't work for me because of the waters I've been fishing. And watching you guys down here, you've been absolutely filling it in, and you've been catching it.
Yeah, I think somewhere like this, the spod or the spawn goes in and they react to it. It's as simple as that. I think it's just, they know there's food there, they know it's not safe, but there's that many hungry mouths in here. They do get on it. I've probably put in about 8 kilo of Richworth Escort boilies, which is what I've been using, which all my fish have come on. I've put in a load of the matching Escort pellets, the bag mix. I've put in a load of corn, sweet corn has gone in. I've put in tuna. Most important thing with the tuna is make sure you use the tuna in oil. Gives a lovely slick off. You know, you put that in your spod mix, break up all your tuna. And the other thing I've got from Tesco's some tins of mixed beans in really salty water. It's just something, a little bit of a kick, a little bit extra.
A little bit different as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've probably put 20 key in though in the last 3 days.
So what you fishing over the top, boilie over the top?
Boilies, yeah.
On standard rigs or?
Well, what I tend to use predominantly for 99% of my fishing is the Gardner long shanking sizes. I use long shanks for pretty much all my fishing, unless I'm fishing in bags or I'm using a tiger nut, something like that. You
large size or small size do you go in those?
Say that again.
Small sizes or large size in those hooks?
Size 6 is what I tend to use because I'm using a snowman rig. Which, like I say, all my fish have come on snowman rigs. I have tried alternative baits. I've tried pop-up corn, but I've not had a touch on them. Obviously, I put a lot of corn in with my spod mix.
Yeah.
I've also, you got to do it, haven't you? Got Collings here next to me with 20 gallon of maggot and God knows how much caster, so you know me hands were straight in that bucket. So I put a load of casters in, a load of maggots as well. But I think on here, as you put in a lot of different baits in, brings the smaller fish in, the carp follow. But I do think, for me personally, I like using my boilies. Big carp get big eating boilies, don't they?
They do, mate, they do. Well, all over the UK, the amount of carp that eat boilies in the UK is unbelievable.
Yeah, so although I've had the small stuff in there for attraction and because we had a bit of a chop on as well, I wanted those smaller items, the really small pellets, the stick mix, just clouding up that water and pulling any fish down
and
as
to
well.
be honest, like the size of the shoals that swim up and down, especially up this section here, you know, it's holding them for longer. If they've got like 2 kilo, 5 kilo of boilers there, they're going to soon mop it up.
Oh, they can wipe that out in no time at all.
Smaller items, it keeps them there for longer and enables you to get a few more bites.
So that's how it's gone. We've not got long left. Every chance of another fish. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's been good. Yeah, cheers for coming round.
It's time for you to get the kettle on, mate.
Always. Right, after sticking all that bait in over that spot I found yesterday afternoon, put about 15 kilo in, 5 kilo of boilie. Started getting liners not long after. New fish were in the area because Lee had a couple. Had a mid-double in the night that I slipped back without any pictures, and then this one came along at first light. Not the biggest fish, but pretty fish, and just lost another now, so hopefully we'll have a few more. We know they're in the area, so we'll see what happens. Right, here's a scraper 20 that I've had in the night. I've had 3 fish in the night, 5 in total on the session. This one again, coming to the Escort boilies, stuck about 7 key out over the session. They've definitely got on it. So, got another one, a little bit bigger to show you, but a nice fish. Right, here's another nice common, about 23, 24. Apologise for me sniffling, I've got the most horrendous cold ever. Yeah, we've had some good action with some nice fish. Nice and clean, this one. Having a little shower. Slipping back. I'm just catching up with Lee Collings. We're at the bottom end of the social bank. Lee's been here a couple of days now. He's had a slightly different approach to everybody else. It seems to have paid off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's. I know this obviously lake fairly well. I know what the anglers, 90% of what people are going to do. So I decided to bring like a maggots and caster approach and just solely fish like that. Bought a good quantity of bait. I bought
more maggots and casters than I've ever seen in my life, and as a kid I worked in a tackle shop and I've never seen this many. How many did you bring?
I bought 20 gallon of maggots and probably 10 gallon of casters.
So if you're local to Foster's of Birmingham and you're a match angler, unlucky this weekend, Lee works there and he's cleaned them out of maggots and casters and everything else, haven't you, I think?
Yeah, it's just different because like everybody else will be fishing either boilies or fishing like pellets and that. So I know that it works in the spring and the winter. So I just thought I'd try the heavy baiting approach. I know the sort of area I was going to be fishing was quite weedy, so obviously it'll just like clear the spots off for me as well. And it seems to have sort of paid off to a certain degree.
You started off with some instant action, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
with
it.
couple of cats to start with.
Yeah, it usually takes, when you put in like a decent quantity in, like I probably put 5 gallon in to start with, which takes a long time to put out with the spawn, but put it on the spots and then fish the rods over the top of them. It's first of all I got nailed by a couple of cats, probably 15-20 pounders, which I didn't really want because the action on here, if you usually get the cats in the swim, the carp are not anywhere to be seen, so hopefully I nicked them 2 off the spot and then they sort of disappeared then, and then obviously I got into the...
Carp moved in?
Yeah, carp moved in and had that 27 like the first one. Here's the first one of the session, 27.4. Put up a big scrap, weeded me up a few times, but so that was sort of a welcome sort of blessing. The pressure was off then really.
Yeah, and then it got even better for you, didn't it?
Yeah, sort of had the big common then at sort of 41.9. So.
Well, about half an hour ago, I'm sat there with the first cup of tea of the day, and I hear Lee's alarms go. I wander over, and this slips in the net not long after turning up. Rather pleased, Mr. Collins, I think, aren't we?
Yes, can't complain at that.
41 what?
41.9.
So one of the best commons in the lake on the first morning. Couldn't really go much better.
Nah. Be nice. Big plated next.
I hope so, mate.
Yeah. That was one of the A teams, so that was a bonus. So
yeah, a great result, mate. It's a cracking fish, and you've had another 3 since.
Yeah. Okay, third fish of the session. Nice little mirror, 23.8 £. Got a few fish showing over the spot now, so hopefully we have a few more. Okay, number 4 of the session. Nice little chunky mirror, 33.8 £. Again off the sort of heavily baited spot. Just going dark, so it's just starting to kick in now. A few fizzes over the spot, so hopefully a few more.
And I'm fishing in the next swim to Lee. I've not been doing quite as much fishing, but one thing that has been evident that I've noticed is he's never stopped. He's either had his rods in, spomming over the top, but the main thing is
you've brought a lot of bait, but you've used it little and often.
Yeah, that's it.
You might put 10 spoms in, 3 hours later some more, and keep topping the swim up
I've
constantly.
kept topping the swim up, yeah. Like the quiet periods of the day, like midday is sort of when I've been putting the majority of the bait in, because it's sort of quiet time. You're not seeing many fish show, no real bites through the middle of the day, so I make all the disturbance, even if it's been taking me an hour to spot it out, an hour and a half. Then obviously it's settled, then put the rods back on. Obviously when I've been bringing the rods back in the morning, all the weeds being ripped up around the actual area, and it's all covering my rigs as well, so I'll keep trying to chuck my rods quite regular, so, because I'm always cautious of that.
So obviously, as we've said, you've put a load of maggot in, a load of casters. Show us quickly what you've been catching on and what you've been fishing over the top.
So I've been fishing I've been fishing anything between sort of 10 to 15 to 20 inch hook lengths, depends on
because of the weed.
Because of the weed, the sort of critically balanced sort of pop-ups. So it's just using that, like, so it's just sinking on the top of the weed.
Pop-ups with a funky hairdo.
Yeah, that's it. just using cell pop-ups, white or pink cell pop-ups, and then just using the evolution maggots on top of it, and I'm either using a pink boilie, and then a white maggot, or white or pink, just a variation, and I've caught on both, so I don't think it really makes that much of a difference.
Good stuff. Well, we've still got the rest of the afternoon, evening, and another night to go. We're here till the morning, so hopefully Lee will have a few more.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, mate. Good luck.
Okay guys, we've come to the end of our filming down at Richworth Linear Fisheries on St John's Lake. As you all know, been a cracking few days. We've had some nice fish. Big thank you to Nick Burrage and Lee Collings for turning up, also to Leon Bartropp and Lee Birch, who've had to make an early dart unfortunately on the last day. It's been a fantastic few days. Big thank you to Roy and Chris at Linear for having us. Do you guys want to say anything?
No, it's been a good session, hasn't it? It's gone to plan to a certain degree, hasn't
Gone
it?
rather well for you anyway, Lee, to be fair.
I can't
Well done
complain.
with your 40, mate.
So, yeah, congratulations mate, well done. Yeah, thanks for watching, that's fantastic. Take care, bye.